YouTube, what's up with it? It's your boy Booze back at another reaction. Today we got the rise and fall of motherfucking offshore powerboat racing. Y'all probably like, what the hell is you doing watching this shit? Shit, I want me a motherfucking speedboat. I ain't gonna lie. I want me a speedboat. I want me a V or a cat. Is it a cat called a cat? I don't know. But I know me, I want me a V shape. I want me twin V12s. So you talking about twin turbo V12s in the motherfucking back. Yes. I want me a motherfucking a speedboat. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and check me out on Twitch. When you come check me out on Twitch, it gonna help me get my speedboat. Twitch.tv/SpacemanBooze, man. Let's get into this reaction.
There's a song that's called Smuggler's Blues. It said it all about a certain era of offshore racing. There was a crew of people that came through the sport that took us from the sports pages to the front pages. These guys had income from questionable sources, but they brought tremendous boats, they started their own engine companies, and they raised the bar in terms of budgets for offshore powerboat racing. These guys also made the cover of Time magazine. In the end, they left a tremendous legend in their wake. They were pirates, they were racers, they were exciting, but they're also doing time, some of them for the rest of their lives.
Rise and demise of offshore powerboat racing. Ha 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 ha.
Offshore powerboat racing is a sport that flirted with the impossible, a symphony of speed, power, and glamour that for a few decades captured the world's imagination.
That shit did a fucking cartwheel.
Power and glamour that for a few decades captured the world's imagination.
Ain't do a cartwheel, but that shit was
Born
flying
in
and hit a
Italy,
wave.
nurtured in its post-war era by a handful of engineering geniuses who turned speedboats into a sleek, violent art form. In the Italian boatyards of the 1950s and 60s, legends like Carlo Riva tinkered with hull designs, marine engines, and hydrodynamics, transforming the waters off the coast of Sardinia and the Ligurian Sea into testing grounds for a new breed of high-speed vessels. These boats were fast, beautiful, and unforgiving. Craft that fused engine.
Fast shit always, fast shit always start in, like, Italy. Like, y'all must got, like, speed and running through y'all blood. Cause y'all always trying to come up with some fast shit. Like, see? Look at that. See? Ferrari. Where Ferrari from? Italy. They always fast shit.
Engineering mastery with the kind of raw performance that could only be appreciated by men willing to risk their lives to push them to the limit. Offshore racing was, from the start, a playground for the wealthy and daring. But it wasn't until the sport crossed the Atlantic, landing in the United States, that offshore powerboat racing truly took off. America, with its vast coastline and boundless appetite for spectacle, saw something different in these machines. The country that had made hot rods and drag racing household obsessions found a natural extension of its love for speed on the open water.
But now I don't think I don't think it's open like this. I think now they top just covered.
American powerboat racers were making a name for themselves, fueled by a growing demand for even faster, bigger boats.
Cigarette? What's cigarette from?
In this race, one boat was quickly singled out as most likely to succeed.
Y'all think I don't know my boats? Where they say cigarette? Where's cigarette from though?
In this
cigarette might be an American company. That's what I'm saying. Cigarette, that's boat company.
Race, one boat was quickly singled out as most likely to succeed. The Cigarette, owned and driven by American Don Aronoff.
Don Aronoff became the poster child of this movement, a brash, confident racer and boat designer who epitomized the American spirit. His creations, first through his company, Magnum Marine, and later with Cigarette and Donzi, redefined the sport.
Ocean races.
He got Cigarette and Donzi? Oh my God.
Fascinated with cars, anything with speed, I guess.
Aronoff's boats were both deadly and beautiful, and they quickly became coveted possessions, not only by racers, but also by the ultra-wealthy and powerful. If you owned a Cigarette, you weren't just rich, you were invincible.
I mean, you got money, you got a cigarette, boy.
The sport grew, and with it, so did the stakes. By the 1970s, offshore powerboat racing had become a showcase for cutting-edge marine technology, and American races like the Miami-Nassau offshore race
that bitch
became
got
cultural
7
events.
inches. I mean,
Racing
6.
teams with million-dollar budgets competed on the water, each one pushing for higher speeds, more advanced engineering, and greater exposure. But the sport was about more than just speed. It was about who could afford to play. Racing boats that cost more than most houses weren't just a tool for competition. They were a signal of status. The personalities involved were larger than life, men like Aronow, who navigated through a world of opulence, danger, and scandal.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? That's right. Only 24 hours and your new smile is ready. And with affordable payment options, achieving your...
As offshore racing gained attention, it also attracted a dark undercurrent of criminal activity.
Drugs.
By the late 1970s and into the cocaine-fueled 1980s, the boats that were built for racing found another, more sinister use: smuggling. Miami became the epicenter of this transformation. The boats that could race across open waters at breakneck speeds were ideal for transporting cocaine from the Caribbean to the U.S. mainland. And so, the sport became entwined with the Miami drug trade, with racers often doubling as smugglers.
Woo!
The same men who were celebrated on the water were also ferrying massive loads of narcotics, turning a
Shit, the cartel say, yeah, these niggas fast, we need them. Shit, I don't blame.
blind eye
Shit,
to
I
the
don't
law.
blame.
At the heart of this dark
Shit, I don't
chapter in
blame.
the sport's history were two men, Sal Magluta and Ben Kramer. Magluta, alongside his partner Willie Falcon, ran one of the largest cocaine trafficking organizations in Miami. But Magluta didn't just smuggle drugs.
Cocaine cowboy?
He was
No.
a decorated offshore powerboat racer, a man who dominated the sport both legally and illegally. With vast sums of drug money, Magluta sponsored his own team, building boats that were the envy of the racing world. His winnings in the sport were matched only by the millions he earned in the drug trade, making him untouchable for years. His boats were symbols of speed, success, and secrecy, part of an empire that stretched from the Miami docks to the jungles of Colombia. Magluta's fall from grace in the 1990s was spectacular, a public unraveling of both his racing career and his drug empire.
Damn.
Here's the US 1 Apache out of North Miami Beach, Florida, Ben Kramer. He's got to be one of the boats favored in this race coming in.
got 3 people
A
in the
strong
boat.
competitor all the way. That's Apache.
We don't need a driver
And
in
Nick, if you
the
notice, these boys in this particular boat are not sitting down. They're standing up. They're absorbing the waves, the rough water here today by just bending their knees slightly.
Actually, at this point, Jim, it doesn't look like it's a particularly rough ride for this boat. It's cutting right through the waves, and they're not really fighting the waves at this point.
Ben Kramer's story is eerily similar. A fellow racer and drug smuggler, Kramer was a powerhouse on the water. His boats were meticulously designed, not just for speed, but for smuggling runs. Kramer's wealth and connections in the Miami underworld enabled him to dominate the offshore racing scene for years. But his career, too, was cut short when federal agents arrested him in 1987.
How they get caught doing this? Nigga had them bricks.
Despite its criminal associations, offshore powerboat racing reached new heights in the 1980s. The sport was a magnet for celebrities, and none shone brighter than Don Johnson. His role on Miami Vice had made him the quintessential 1980s action star, and his involvement in offshore racing brought Hollywood's glamorous sheen to the sport. Johnson wasn't just a figurehead, he was a genuine racer, winning championships and earning respect from fellow competitors. His presence brought offshore racing into the limelight, with media coverage that hadn't been seen before. Chuck Norris, Kurt Russell, and other celebrities soon followed, making the sport feel like a high-speed extension of Hollywood's most exclusive circles. Donald Trump, never one to miss an opportunity for exposure, also joined the offshore racing scene, using his brand and business ventures to sponsor races and boats. His name became synonymous with high-stakes racing, further cementing the sport's reputation as a pursuit for the ultra-wealthy. The sport's association with celebrities and moguls attracted major sponsors. Companies like Marlboro and Budweiser, keen to be associated with the sport's mix of danger, glamour, and power, poured millions into sponsorships, turning races into high-profile televised events. The biggest races became global spectacles, with events like the Cowes Torquay and the Key West World Championship drawing crowds and cameras from around the world.
Shit, on fire.
Offshore powerboat racing is a thrilling sport that has seen numerous legends rise to fame, characterized by a unique blend of daring, resilience, and innovation.
Guy had them balls.
These racers are not just competitors. They are pioneers, constantly pushing the limits of technology and speed while navigating the
bro, look at like, that's back then, bro. You gotta think about it. Back then, to where they had no motherfucking computer to come up with different designs for them. Nah, they just hand making designs, going back and forth, going scratch. Oh, all right, this made it slow. All right, we gotta go take it back to the shop. Do it, tweak it like this. All right, go test it again. Oh, that made it faster. Okay, let's see if we can tweak it some more. Nah, you got a fucking computer. You put shit through the simulation, and now I'm saying the shit tell you what the fuck going on. You feel me? You too.
Unpredictable waters of the ocean. Traits like courage, determination, and an unyielding spirit define their journeys, often reflected in their remarkable achievements.
Spirit of America. Boom, boom, boom.
Betty Cook was a trailblazing figure in offshore powerboat racing.
Of all the drivers, both male and female, the best is Californian Betty Cook, a petite, likable, 58-year-old grandmother of 3. She drives the
58? She whooping y'all ass? I don't care if she a woman, but 58? Oh, she whipping that big bitch. She can drive the boat. Boss, you drive the boat.
A petite, likable, 58-year-old grandmother of 3. She drives the 10,000-pound, 1,400-horsepower Michelob Light boat, replacing a driver who was killed in a race earlier this year.
It's because of the challenge, and it's a lot of challenges. It's an intellectual challenge, it's a physical challenge, it's a technical challenge.
She whipping that bitch.
It's a team working together.
Known for her record-breaking achievements and status as one of the sport's most successful competitors.
Okay.
She began racing in 1974 at age 52.
What the hell?
Making her debut with a second-hand boat called Mongoose. She quickly gained acclaim, going on to win 2 UIM World Championships, 1977 and 1979,
she did her big
and
one.
3 APBA National Championships, 1978, 1979, 1981.
She the best speedboater.
Notably, she became the first woman to win a world championship in offshore powerboat racing in 1977, a significant milestone in a male-dominated sport.
Yes, whoop they ass. She was whooping their ass.
Cook's success continued as she took on ambitious courses, including the 580-mile race down the Gulf of California, which she completed in 12 hours and 45 minutes, averaging over 50 miles per hour. She often raced in her 38-foot Scarab, Kama, which became famous in the powerboating community. Cook was inducted into the APBA Hall of Champions multiple times and the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America in 1996, cementing her legacy as a pioneer for women in the sport. She retired from racing in 1982 and passed away in 1990 at the age of 67.
Damn. She enjoyed racing.
Fountain has held the speed record in every twin-engine V-bottom category for over 2 decades. Fountain has dominated race courses in all types of water conditions all around the world. 8 times in the last 15 years, Fountain boats have broken their own V-bottom speed record. In their last attempt, Fountain shattered the SBI APBA UIM V-bottom speed record at a
bro, like that bitch is floating, bro.
blistering 171.883 miles per hour with an amazing one-way pass of 177.35 miles per hour.
That bitch getting.
Reggie Fountain is a key figure in offshore powerboat racing and the founder of Fountain Powerboats, a well-known name in high-performance boating.
Changing the props.
His journey in powerboating started with a strong love for speed, cultivated from a young age on North Carolina's Tar River. Fountain became a factory racer for Mercury Marine in the 1960s, part of the high-profile Black Angels team alongside racing legends like Bill Seabold and Earl Bentz. Known for his relentless pursuit of speed and performance, he began designing boats that pushed the boundaries of traditional offshore racing, and Fountain Powerboat soon emerged as a major brand in the industry, with its boats achieving high speeds and stability even in challenging conditions.
Damn.
I work 16, 17 hours a day. Business comes number one, and health comes number two, and family comes number three.
Rocky Aoki, founder of the Benihana restaurant chain, was also an avid offshore powerboat racer.
What? Nigga that came up with Benihana, like... The nigga that came up with Benihana race too?
Founder of the Benihana restaurant chain, was also an avid offshore powerboat racer with a notable racing career in the late 1970s and early 1980s. He began racing in the 1970s and achieved multiple wins, including twice claiming victory at the Benihana Grand Prix, a race he established in Point Pleasant, New Jersey in 1975 to promote the sport and his brand. His racing career, however, was marked by a series of accidents, including a near-fatal crash in 1979 under the Golden Gate Bridge, which led to severe injuries and a blood transfusion that reportedly resulted in him contracting hepatitis C.
What?
Despite this, Aoki continued racing until another accident in 1982 led him to retire from the sport.
How the hell Aoki keep crashing?
A terrible crash occurred, and Bob Kaiser stopped racing, turned his boat around, and focused his attention on saving his fellow racers' lives.
What the fuck? Bro, did y'all see what the fuck? Bro,
Bobby,
that wasn't just no crash. Nigga, that shit crashed.
A terrible crash occurred, and Bob Kaiser stopped racing, turned his boat around, and focused his attention on saving his fellow racers' lives.
Bobby Kaiser, Excalibur, Dalia, they've all stopped. See the pace boats out here trying to help. The guys are out of the boat. They seem to be all right.
Because I've lost about 3 friends, and I think we've had 13 or 14 casualties here in the last 3 or 4 years.
Bob Kaiser sitting on the stern. Errol Lanier is in the water. It appears from here they're changing a propeller. A very difficult job, but they'll have to do it if they're to continue in this race.
Bob Kaiser might be having trouble on the race course, but all is not lost. He lives a very varied life, 33 years of age from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. He plays hard and he works hard. His company manufactures a paint finishing system which is used in the automotive industry. He takes boat racing very seriously, and endurance is a major factor. He's willing to pay the price.
In any kind of motorsports, there's a lot of endurance involved. It's very hot inside the enclosed canopies, so you have to be in good shape. And I always felt that if the stronger I was, the better off I was in rough water.
1988, Key West, Florida, in the World Offshore Racing Championship. It's Bob Kaiser against the world. And after a slow start in the blue waters off Key West, Kaiser and Lanier light up the waters as they put the hammer down and begin to reel in the leaders, knocking them off one by one. This top gun and former world and national champion pushes the envelope in an effort to win yet another world championship.
Bob Kaiser is a celebrated figure in offshore powerboat racing, known for his remarkable achievements and contributions to the sport. His racing career took off in 1984, where he quickly distinguished himself as both a national and world champion, ultimately setting world speed records and being inducted into the Offshore Powerboat Hall of Fame. Kaiser is especially remembered for his performance in iconic competitions like the 1997 Offshore World Championships in Key West, Florida, where he competed in a 40-foot Cougar catamaran. His commitment to the sport continued until his retirement in 1998, capping off a 14-year career filled with high-speed thrills and numerous victories.
That was the stuff.
So I was right. In the beginning of the video, I said, I ain't want a cat. See, I be thinking I be saying the wrong shit, but I know what the fuck I be talking about. I would fuck with a cat, because this is a cat right here. Y'all know the bullshit. Like, a cat is, like, not a V-bottom.
Bitty stuff for the stuff.
Like a true champion, Kaiser gave the competition a run for their money.
No, I wasn't tripping, bro. I do know my shit.
His day. He will be back.
We went out hard, tried to separate ourselves from the rest of the pack.
What happened?
And we were running with maybe the top 3 or 4 boats. As we ran the Sand Key, conditions were a little bit rougher. We hit a sort of a freak large wave that the boat launched off of, and then stuffed into an even bigger wave, and the boat ran maybe 100 feet underwater.
What the fuck?
And in that incident, Mark's life was lost.
Mark and Chris Levine were standout figures in offshore powerboat racing during the mid-1980s.
That bitch went 100 feet underwater?
Milestones that cemented their legacy. In 1984,
that's why they picked the tops on the
title
boats
of
now.
USA National Champions and set a world speed record of 101.3 miles per hour. Their skills and synergy as a team led them to further success, securing the 1985 World Championship in Class 2. Mark Levine lost his life in an accident at the Key West World Championship in 1986. This incident marked a significant moment in offshore racing, drawing attention to the sport's dangers and prompting safety advancements.
Yeah, word.
Chris continued racing in honor of his brother, contributing to the sport's evolution and pushing for improvements in raceboat safety design.
Mark was an innovator in offshore safety design. Mark will be greatly missed. Al Copeland in the Popeyes boat is being chased by the largest field of superboats ever. Tom Gentry in the number 9 Gentry Turbo Eagle. Chris Laven in the Jesse James. Hometown favorite Tim Sisuli in the Maxon. Ben Kramer in his brand new Apache. And Norman Gentry in the 99 Gentry Eagle. The fastest offshore boats in the world have come to do battle in Atlantic City.
If you're unsure or unaware of your eyeglass prescription,
the baddest niggas.
or if your prescription changes.
Tom Gentry was a legendary offshore powerboat racer, known for his groundbreaking achievements and record-breaking speeds. In 1976, he won his first World Offshore Championship.
We're looking for good weather, good day.
Setting the stage for a highly decorated career that would include 5 World Championships and 4 U.S. National Championships between 1976 and 1990.
Damn, he
Gentry was
ass.
celebrated as the fastest man in offshore after setting 3 concurrent ocean speed records, including a 1987 world record for 148.238 miles per hour and a 1994 UIM Class 1 record at 157.482 miles per hour.
On the water.
One of his most iconic achievements was his 1989 transatlantic crossing aboard the Gentry Eagle, completing the journey in 62 hours and 7 minutes, which broke Richard Branson's previous record by a significant margin. His passion for innovation also led to the development of the Gentry turbo engines, which dominated offshore races for several years. Beyond racing, Gentry was a prominent figure in Hawaiian real estate and philanthropy. He remained active in the sport until his career was tragically cut short by a 1994 accident from which he never fully recovered, passing away in 1998.
Fuck. I always get to the best of the best. Fuck.
Al Copeland, best known as the founder of Popeye's Chicken, was also a passionate offshore powerboat racer whose high-speed lifestyle matched his larger-than-life personality.
That's crazy, bro.
Copeland's racing career took off after he purchased a 37-foot cigarette boat from Don Aronow in the late 1970s, eventually leading to his involvement in professional offshore racing. He launched the iconic Popeyes racing.
You got a business, it's best to go with the racing. Okay, I guess offshore racing was big back in the day.
Team, which became a formidable force in the racing world, claiming several national and world titles through the 1980s and 90s.
That's smart,
but as with all things built
marketing
on excess, the sport's boom couldn't last. By the 1990s, several factors led to offshore powerboat racing's gradual decline. The exorbitant costs of maintaining and racing the boats meant that only the very wealthy could afford to compete. And as sponsorships began to dry up, fewer and fewer new racers were entering the scene. Cigarette and alcohol companies, which had been the sport's biggest backers, faced increasing scrutiny and regulation, leading many of them to pull their support. With less financial backing, the prize purses
cigarettes and alcohol companies back now.
Media interest.
I don't think cigarettes, but
the sport, once a fixture on major television networks,
cigarettes they be trying to back
slowly disappeared from mainstream broadcasting.
Mainstream broadcast. That sounds all right. Damn.
Safety concerns also played a major role in offshore.
I don't know. It might be on mainstream broadcasting now, though.
The boats had become too fast, too powerful, and too dangerous. High-profile accidents, some of them fatal, cast a shadow over the sport, leading to calls for stricter regulations. Fans, who had once been captivated by the sport's speed and risk, were now witnessing the darker side of high-speed racing.
Yeah.
And with the rise of alternative motorsports
that shit
and
flipping.
safer to promote, offshore racing's appeal began
the
to
whole
wane.
boat don't tear it apart.
Television networks, always in search of the next big thing, shifted their focus away from offshore racing.
That shit went in the water.
The distances involved in the races made it difficult to capture all the action on camera, and without compelling footage, the sport lost its allure. By the late 1990s, offshore powerboat racing had become a shadow of its former self.
Damn.
A sport that once represented the pinnacle of speed, power, and danger, now relegated to niche channels and die-hard enthusiasts.
This shit, boat. Oh my! I gotta give me a speedboat, bro. Cigarette might be too expensive, but I might gotta build my own. I need me a V bottom. No cap, man. If y'all like this video, man, make sure y'all put down in the comments what y'all want y'all boy Booze to react to, man. I know it ain't gonna be a lot of stuff I be reacting to, but I know this one threw you off. But shit, I love boats. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm a boat guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a boat guy. Ain't like I'm a boat license. A lot of people don't know that. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/SpacemanBulls. And I'll motherfucking see you.